morning. Welcome to Rehoboth Church.
Welcome to Rehoboth Church, where worship welcomes and where we hope to share Jesus Christ with the community and the world by being a year-round center for Christian worship, education, fellowship, and service. We're very pleased to be sharing this celebration of honoring our past and celebrating our future. As part of the emphasis of honoring our past, we're remembering that Rehoboth Church was founded in 1878 by a group of Chautauquans who across denominational lines said, "Let's be the church for the rest of the year." And since that time, Rehoboth has been worshiping from September through the middle or toward the end of June, and then taking a Rehoboth worship break for the 10 Sundays of the Chautauqua season. During that time, since 1878, Rehoboth has moved from place to place on the grounds of the Chautauqua Institution to hold worship services during those times. And then since 1930, when the church building was built, Rehoboth's been worshiping here.
Well, my first memory of coming here to church was when they had the dedication out front, and it was a cold winter day. That's the main thing, and I remember the choir was up there on the entryway, and there was a big crowd.
And when the congregation of the Rehoboth Church in the 1930s built the building, they saw that part of the purpose of building the building was to build a building that would be used in the summertime by the Chautauqua Institution. And since that time, every summer, the Chautauqua Institution has used the building pretty much extensively. So that now, even now, today, the Rehoboth Church in summertime is host to the Hebrew congregation of Chautauqua, computer classes, yoga classes, aerobics classes, dancing classes, and now our summer meal ministry, which happens at lunch and dinner all week long, Monday through Friday, for lunch and dinner on Thursday nights. It's one of the hot spots to eat in Chautauqua in the summertime. In fact, we think it's the best place to eat.
Church service was held before Sunday school, of course. So, and everybody, the youth included, kids included, was there for the opening, the beginning of the service. Right. And then at a certain point, we always sang Faith of Our Fathers, and the youth went to junior church, which was held down here. And then after church, of course, there was Sunday school.
I remember Don Group, my husband of 49 years, had a stopwatch. And when Reverend Frank Laundrie was the minister, they were very great friends. They had a garden together. They told jokes together. Some shouldn't have been printed. And then Don would sit in the sanctuary when Reverend Pastor Laundrie was preaching. And with his stopwatch, he said, "After 20 minutes, I will click. If you can't save us in 20 minutes, that's the time to stop."
Reverend Hagedorn was speaking, and his teeth flew out.
Well, Al Rice had gone up to fix a roof above that. Something was loose. And Helen Colligan came in, and she saw that window open. She said, "This shouldn't be open," so she closed it. And Al was up on the roof. And you know, he knew everyone, and everyone knew him. He'd keep calling to people, and they'd wave hi. He'd go on by. Finally, someone opened it for him.
I had a relay race set up, and it started in the church, and you had to slither under all the pews, run upstairs, downstairs, all over the place. And I did it once, and I was about ready to die. And then my daughter Jamie challenged me to a race, and she was probably freshman in high school. And that's as close as I ever think to having a heart attack.
Reverend Charles Hagedorn was great with his stories for the children. And one Halloween, he had a pumpkin on the church rail. And he addressed the pumpkin, and the answer came from a tape under the lectern. And of course, Garrett thought that Reverend Hagedorn had forgotten to correct the tape because he normally taped his sermons, and he dashed up and turned that off. Reverend Hagedorn said, "I really wanted that on, Mr. Mitchell."
Franklin used to stand there and shake hands with people on the way out. I stood with him usually. And there's a bust of Dr. Hurlbut there.
Yes.
And so one day Franklin was standing shaking hands with people as they went out. And he looked over and Dr. Hurlbut had bright blue eyes because somebody had put blue chewing gum. And so Dr. Hurlbut was looking at bright. And you remember Harold Smith always wore a tam. Yeah. He used to come in church and he used to put it on Dr. Hurlbut's head. And then Franklin would go over and very carefully take it off and put it somewhere else.
Yeah, we came here the first Sunday was Easter Sunday of 1999. And Barb had always been interested in Chautauqua, always liked Chautauqua, had from a child on, had spent a lot of time here. So we came over here just to see the grounds and so forth while we were dating. And one Sunday we decided, well, let's go Easter Sunday over to church here and see what it's like. And the congregation was very friendly, and Ted was was a wonderful sermon, preached a wonderful sermon that Easter, and we decided to come back. And we joined a year later, kind of cost of $2,000.
This is the day the Lord has made. Be glad, give thanks, stand in his presence unafraid. Lift up your voice in praise.
It's always been a very open, welcoming church.
A lot of my friends come here from school, so we have a lot of fun hanging out and going to the gatherings and the overnights. And I love how everyone here is like kind of family and everyone's really close.
The old and the young were all together. There were older people who were genuinely and sincerely interested in the young ones. They weren't pretending or trying to be friendly with them. They were sincerely interested in them, knew them well enough. And now having been here, I realize that people work and play together in this church. And so they really do get to know the old and the young. So the family is an extended family that is a true church family, different than I've experienced at any other church.
You can bring anyone to Hurlbut, and they are not alienated, they are not put off.
Everybody just treats you, it's just like one big family. Everybody's really happy and really nice and kind and accepting to everyone.
Folks will, show and express support, sincere, empathy and sympathy for people going through different things, and that I think is what makes Hurlbut a resource center for all different kinds of needs.
Yeah, people of the church here don't look at what your background is, your financial background, what your status is. They just look at you for being you, and that was one thing that really attracted us to this church and made us feel welcome.
As my back gets weaker, why the church is stronger. That's a good thing to remember.
The Meal Ministry Program in the summer helps us afford the 9 or 10 second mile mission giving ministries that our local church supports every year. We're a global mission partner church, which means we support a missionary in Zimbabwe and also in Israel. We support the conference camps and conference campus ministry programs with second mile giving. We also support Habitat for Humanity, Literacy Volunteers, Chautauqua County Rural Ministries, the Conference Youth Program, and the Jurisdictional Mission of Peace program of the Jurisdictional Council on Youth Ministries. These are some of the things the Summer Meal Ministry program helps us do as we reach out to others. All throughout the year, our local congregation collects canned goods during every worship service, and every once in a while we take them over to the Asheville Food Shelf, which is helping people in our area who are in need of that kind of help. We are pleased to help reach out to them in this way. This is one of the things we hope to do more and more of, that is, helping out by reaching out.
Hagedorn tried to get us to enroll immediately. And he said, if we have any faith, he said, we should demonstrate it first in the place where we are.
I think that the future looks pretty bright for Robert.
I just hope that it goes on and grows and serves the community as it has in the past, and I feel it will.
I just hope a lot of kids keep coming, because it really is a fun time, and I hope that everybody just keeps going together and keep treating everybody like family like they've always done.
I would hope for my great-grandchildren that there would be something which would help them to see Christ and his followers as role models for their lives ahead and to share with their families and their communities.
I think that youth ministry here, juxtaposed with Chautauqua's ministry, can be a great thing. Of course, that's just the summertime for now. But I picture the marriage between Chautauqua and Hurlbut taking greater, probably, strides in terms of all kinds of ministry, not just youth ministry, but I think there's just so much potential in that regard.
Thanks for joining us for this celebration of honoring the past and celebrating the future.